Next up, we have Ksenija. She comes to us from Osijek, and where she used to practice yoga, but can't quite do it now. And she actually lives in Zagreb now as well. So let's welcome Ksenija. This is her first talk.
Hi, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your lunch and that you are not too sleepy now. My name is Ksenija, and I work as product manager in software development company -5. Topic I will cover here today is not really product management topic, but is related to one of my passions, and that is bringing structure to chaos. And let's be honest, there is at least a little bit of chaos in each and every small software development company today. What I will show you here today is why you should start reading books. So in 10 years, you will not be just good developer, but one of the few really excellent ones. I will present you with recommended reading lists that we created in-house, and that should help you on that journey. I will explain why we created technical career path, to which skill areas are elemental, and to which skill area this recommended reading list is related to. So it all started when we grew from a company that employs only few engineers, that were all seniors and mostly friends, to a company of about 20 people where not anymore everyone was on the same skill and experience level. After some painful project failures, we realized we needed to find a way to scale one of the main values we have built our company on, and that is technical excellence. We needed to adjust our expectations to different levels, but on the other hand, we didn't want junior level to become excuse for weak performances. To satisfy that need and some other needs company faced at the time, we started by creating career path and defined 5 levels: junior, independent, senior, principal, and fellow. Now, I know that some of you have negative opinion about pure existence of career paths, or engineer ladders, how those are also called. And I know that some of you look at it as an excuse for getting or not getting raise, or as an opportunity for putting new title on LinkedIn. And that is a side effect of it. But let's be honest, today when software industry is blooming, you are all job hopping and earning promotions on a daily basis. And you can, and probably will, very quickly earn some fancy ninja-style titles. That will maybe happen even before your skill level deserves it. And that's actually fine, because I guess that with fancy titles goes fancy paycheck. But titles are not really important. Your capabilities are. We created this career path because we needed to support our company's values, principles, and culture. And if your professional goals are aligned with company ones, and if you want to grow your career within that company, then those should be. If they don't, today you really have a choice, and you should probably change your job. But if they do, then this technical career path gives you something to work towards. Then this is the best possible framework for your professional growth, and not something company enforces. This is the way I look at it, and I dare you to look at it from the same angle, at least for the needs of today's presentation. So during this process of creation career path, we asked ourselves which skill areas we would like every engineer to develop on during their professional growth. Of course, main and primary skill for each engineer is your chosen field of expertise, be it front-end, back-end, database, you name it. It is critically important, and of course that it is, because it is related to how you do stuff, how you use specific programming language or framework, how you use revision control. And if you don't know how you do your stuff, then nothing else I will talk about today is not really important. But You are aware that it is important, you are putting some conscious effort in learning all those things, and most talks on this conference are related to this skill area. It is not related to my field of expertise, so I will not talk about this today. The other important skill area are communication, or so-called soft skills. Last year's huge improvement in this field has been addressed with introduction of agile methodologies. And we are all becoming more and more aware why and how communication is important. Yesterday we had a great talk about debugging communication, so I will not talk about that either. But there is one more crucial modern skill that is usually unfairly neglected, and that are problem-solving, or so-called thinking skills. It's not the same to have enough experience and knowledge to know how to get stuff done and to understand why you are doing it in a certain way and how it fits into a bigger picture. This is problem solving. If you have ever heard the phrase 10 years of experience, or the same year of experience 10 times, then this is where the difference lies. But why is it so important? That's because software isn't designed in IDE or other tool. It's imagined and created in your heads. Programming is all about problem solving. It requires creativity, invention, and critical thinking. Nevertheless, what I have noticed is that most never specifically focus on developing this skill area. It is common opinion that by improving your programming skills, you will in parallel improve your problem-solving skills. Well, that is partially true. But we also had great talk yesterday about software industry making us stupid, where it was shown from one angle why we as a humanity are losing part of problem-solving skills. And this is the reason why I think we should actively focus on improving them. But what can we do when a young colleague comes to our company? How can we help them improve problem-solving skills? It's not really so straightforward as improving your programming skills. First thing we did, actually, we checked how our senior experts get there. And one of the things we noticed is why am I here with you today. All our senior experts, but especially our CTO and CEO, are bookworms. We have a company library of some 250 printed books and hundreds of digital ones. So we realized that reading books was an important part of their journey to expertise. And that if we want to help our younger colleagues on their journey, we should encourage them to start reading books. So we could just tell them to start reading. They have 250 books. Of course, it's not that easy. During this process, I was introduced to DREYFUS model of skill acquisition that opened my mind by explaining that learning needs and styles differ depending on people level. DREYFUS model was developed by two researchers, brothers, that studied how people learn and gain new skills because they wanted to advantage artificial intelligence. And they developed a model that outlining 5 stages through which one must pass on their journey from beginner to expert. What is interesting is that beginners and experts are fundamentally different, but it's not that you just know more. It's how you see the world, how you react, and how you learn changes along the way. There are 3 main movements that happen on this journey. One is that you are moving from following rules to following your intuition. The other one is that you are moving from considering every part of a problem as being equally important to understand which parts you should focus on. And the third one is that you are moving from unawareness to full awareness. So what is important for you now to understand is that although technical career path and DREYFUS model both have 5 level stages, those are not the same thing. So career path gives you some overview, what is expected on each level, depending on combination of different skill areas. DREYFUS model, on the other hand, describes how you progress in acquiring one specific skill area. DREYFUS model does not rate you as a whole person. It is applicable per skill. So it is probable that you are not on the same level in each of the 3 skill areas I described. But we took some practices and findings from DREYFUS model to see how people learn on different level and how we can help them in that process. So, for juniors, what is specific about juniors? It is that they don't actually want to learn, they just want to accomplish immediate goal. They are not really much into the details. They want information fast, and they do not see the big picture. Learning strategy for juniors is show me how and help me do it better. At this point, we realized if we want to encourage reading culture within our company, we need to help them start it. So we created Starter Kit, actually a list of books. It is publicly available on GitHub, so feel free to check it out. It is not a big list. It is a list of 10 books. And as you can see, there is a review of each book explaining why this book is on the list. And there are no numbers because there is no any specific order in which these books should be read. To give you some basic overview what kind of books are on the list, I have selected just 3. One is Pragmatic Programmer. This is the book that Joel Spolsky explains as the one that describes the difference between drafting and architecture, and what you learn in your college is actually drafting. The other one is The Art of Unix Programming, and although this is a book about Unix, this is more of a why-to book than how-to book, and principles it describes are applicable on other environments as well, be it building classes, modules, or microservices. And the third one is The Mythical Man-Month. This is a classic book on software project management. And although it was written 40 years ago, principles it describes we discover still today. Famous quote from this book is, "How does a project get to be a year behind schedule? One day at a time." So after creating this starter kit, we checked what DREYFUS model says about independence. So on independent level, you can already troubleshoot problems on your own, and you are able to solve junior problems you haven't faced before. You will seek out and solve problems, but without further experience, you will still have trouble seeing on which part of the problem to focus on. Learning strategy for independence is help me find what I need. So we extended our list and created actually additional one for independence. It is also available publicly on GitHub, and I have selected 2 books to share with you today. One is Domain-Driven Design, and the subtitle itself, Tackling Complexity in the Heart of Software, says enough. But we have heard some complaints that this book is too academic, so we suggested with 2 other books that are with more practical approach, but following the same principles. And the other one is Continuous Delivery. This is the Bible of DevOps practices that explains how to deliver value to customers more rapidly and with higher degree of reliability. This one, of course, goes with famous novel Phoenix Project. So we also checked what about seniors? Seniors need big picture. They can even be frustrated with oversimplification. They can auto-correct their poor task performances and can learn from the experience of others. Learning strategy for seniors is I create my own learning. So on this level, no list is actually needed anymore. Once you become senior, you will find your own way forward if you want to, of course. Occasion for today's talk was creation of recommended reading lists that focuses not on programming skills, but on problem solving, and that provide you with bigger picture that should help you during your career growth. Nevertheless, although I consider reading books being a very important part of that journey, it's just part of the puzzle. What I would like you to take from this talk today is to keep active focus on improving your skills, especially problem-solving skills. I know that today with short deadlines and high job demands, it is very hard to find extra time and put additional effort in learning. But once we stop learning, we actually start dying. Thank you.
If you have a question, raise your hand. I'll come to you. I don't know if this is going to be hard or easy. Yeah.
Hi, great talk, thank you. What was the response from developers? Did they started reading books?
We just introduced it recently, so don't have any numbers yet. It depends. Reactions were pretty diverse, I must say. Some were excited. They say, okay, great, now I have a list, I can start reading. Otherwise, like, whatever. It's not mandatory yet. We are still not sure if we will make it mandatory. But we still need some time, actually, to see how it will be.
I have a question about the library.
Okay.
How many checkouts do you have per month, maybe? I don't know if you have numbers like that.
Oh, we just released it like
you just
15 days ago.
Okay.
Publicly, so I hope you will all check it out, so then we will see.
Hello, yeah, I have a question about the literature, because often in programming, the things that are in the books are outdated and invalid, so how do you deal with that? Why should I read something that's not valid anymore, or it changed drastically?
Because those are books that describe some basic principles, and those don't change. Programming languages change, frameworks change, but basic principles of thinking should stay the same. That's why, although some of those books are classics, they still have value in today's world.
How does this affect your employer evaluation process? How do you evaluate based on these 5 groups and learning materials, or does it affect it in any sense?
You mean like, do we value their progress depending on did they read those books?
Or evaluate newcomers based on literature?
No, not yet. This is just something that we think will help, but we do not force them to read those. We are just sharing with them what we have experienced. Hopefully, they will learn from that.
Any more questions? Okay, thanks again, Ksenia.
Thank you all.